Hi, first graders, and welcome back to Social Studies. Today, we're going to take a look at Christmas around the world and give an opportunity for us to kind of explore a holiday we're familiar with, but kind of take a look and see what it looks like around the world. And so today I've put together this activity here, and I'm going to walk us through it and let us kind of see how this works and what we're supposed to do. So when you come into this activity, you're first going to see this screen. Now, what I did is I came in here and I said that I was going to come to my Christmas around the world. I was going to add my response. I always choose sample student because I am not one of you. And then you're in on this screen. Now, when you're in on this screen, you see all these flags from around the world down here. And then there's a little chain down here in the corner. We're going to click on this, and this is going to take us to a fun place, a fun website that we've got put together for us. And it talks about Christmas traditions and customs, Christmas around the world, the Christmas story, and Christmas fun and activities. But we're focused on Christmas around the world. Now, one thing that is really cool about this is you can find out how Christmas and traditions are celebrated around the world, and we've got a bunch of different countries down here. This is a lot of countries. We have the United States, which we already know how we celebrate Christmas. There's a bunch of different countries all the way through all of these. I think this is kind of cool. There's a lot of different really cool places you can be looking. I am going to look at Ireland. My grandpa, my great grandpa, my grandma's dad, was actually from Ireland. So this is kind of cool for me to look at. So I'm going to read along with you, and I'm going to kind of help us go through this, and I'll show us what to do when we go on another page. So in Ireland, people celebrate Christmas in much the same way as people in the UK and the USA. Us here in the United States. But they also have many of their own Christmas traditions and customs. This is kind of cool. So if you notice this word up, these language up here, that's not English. It's called Gaelic, I believe. Yeah, Gaelic, and it's a language that is from Ireland. Most people there do speak English, but it is also part of that. So let's keep reading. Christmas for Irish people who are Catholics lasts from Christmas Eve to the Feast of Epiphany on January 6th, which some Irish call Little Christmas. Epiphany isn't now widely celebrated in Ireland. There is an old tradition that in some Irish houses, although not many, people put a tall, thick candle on the sill of the largest window after sunset on Christmas Eve. The candle is left to burn all night and represents a welcoming light for Mary and Joseph. In Irish or Gaelic, Christmas is Nollaig. Santa Claus is known as San Nicolas, or Saint Nicholas, or I'm not going to be able to say that, but it means Father Christmas. And Happy or Merry Christmas is Noleg Shona Duit. I don't know how to say that. Excuse me, first graders, but that is really cool to know how to say that in another language, and I might look into that a little further. I know that my boys like to learn how to say Merry Christmas in different languages, and that's kind of cool to be able to teach that to them and see that here. Children hope that Santa will visit on Christmas Eve and leave presents for them. Oh, you know what I'm looking at here? Happy or Merry Christmas in lots more languages. So if you want to learn how to say Merry Christmas in more languages, there's that opportunity there, and it shares that for you. So that's really, really cool. Children hope that Santa will visit on Christmas Eve and leave presents for them. I'm going to move myself over here so I can finish reading. The day after Christmas Day, St. Stephen's Day, known as Boxing Day in the UK and some other countries, is also very important in Ireland. Like in the UK, football matches and horse racing meetings are traditionally held on St. Stephen's Day. One very tradition is the Wren Boys procession that takes place on St. Stephen's Day. This goes back to the ancient times when a real wren, it's like a bird, I believe, was killed and carried around in a holly bush. Some processions still take place, but no wren is hunted or used. So that's nice. Young men and women dress up in homemade costumes and go from house to house carrying a long pole with a holly bush tied to its top and singing a rhyme about a wren bird. Sometimes they are accompanied by violins, accordions, harmonicas, and horns. The rhyme that is often used is the wren, the king of all birds, on St. Stephen's Day was caught in the furs. People also ask for money for the starving wren. The wren is one of the smallest birds in the UK and Ireland, but has a very loud song and is sometimes called the king of all birds. This is because the legend of a little wren who rode on the top of an eagle's head and boasted he had flown higher than an eagle. Wrens were hunted for many years throughout Europe and in medieval times. The Wren Boys procession mostly died out in the early 20th century, although it still takes place in some towns, including Dingle in the county Kerry in southwest of Ireland. The Feast of Epiphany on January 6th was also celebrated in some towns in Ireland as Nolag na Mubim, or Women's Christmas. Traditionally, the women got the day off and the men do the housework and cooking. The women met in each other's homes and sewed and chat. Although it's mostly died out, some women still like to get together on the Sunday nearest Epiphany to have tea and cakes, to gossip and enjoy each other's company. Traditional, historic Christmas food in Ireland includes a round cake full of caraway seeds. One is traditionally made for each person in the house. Now, it's more common to have a Christmas cake like those in the UK, a rich fruit cake covered with marzipan and decorated with icing. So kind of have Christmas cakes here. You kind of see them from certain families here. And in a traditional turkey for Christmas dinner, sometimes spiced beef, spiced over several days, cooked and then pressed is eaten. This can be served hot or cold. Dessert is commonly a Christmas pudding. So that's really exciting. Got to learn a little bit about how Christmas is celebrated in Ireland. Like I said, my great-grandfather came from Western Ireland long time ago. And it's really cool to kind of see some of the traditions that happen there. So I'm going to jump back over to our seesaw activity. We've done our Christmas around the world, and once you've clicked on that link and you've read a little bit about it, and you're going to need help from a parent, and that's okay, but this is kind of a cool thing for you to be able to read with a parent and kind of learn with a parent. This will be a fun activity that you can learn and share with them. You're going to come to page 2, and you're going to tell me what country you read about. So I learned about Christmas in Ireland. So I'm going to get my typing out, and I'm going to type Ireland. I learned about Christmas in Ireland. So I'm going to move my Ireland up here, and then I can draw the flag. Now I'm going to come back and look because I can't quite remember. I think it's green first. Yep, green first. That's what I thought. So then I'm going to get my, let's do pen. Let's make it big. Let's get my green. And then let's get my orange. And that's the Irish flag. So then I'm going to come back to this. How do you say Merry Christmas? This is really hard. If you have a hard time writing this, that's totally fine. I can't even really remember. I remember there's no leg. That's all I can really remember. And that's okay. So and then some languages are going to be really hard. And you may not be able to put the whole word in, or you might not be able to spell it, or there might not be letters on our keyboard or in our language for it, and that's okay. Just do your best that you can here. What you might eat. So they talked about a cake, a Christmas cake. So I'm gonna get my thing. It was brown and it was round, they said. And then it had like fruits on it. And then some icing. Feel like that looks like a Christmas cake. Been watching some Great British Baking Show. I think that's what it looks like. I don't know. Don't judge me. Let's jump to our next page here. We're looking at Christmas in, remember, I'm going to type it again. I'm talking about Christmas in Ireland. I'm going to want to move my Ireland up here. What you might see. So something they talked about you could draw the picture. They had a picture here that you might see. They have parades, and they said, or you might see, they said it doesn't happen a lot, but you might see a window on Christmas Eve. I remember it said this, a window on Christmas Eve. Let's make the candle red with a tall candle lid in it. And then obviously we want our glow pen for the fire. Decorations. They said it was a lot like Christmas here, and that there's a Christmas trees. Oops, that's not the right color. That there's Christmas trees and things like that. So I can draw a little Christmas tree here to do that. Let's move me so we can see. Holiday traditions. If you can remember anything they said, that's where you're going to write it here. I remember that one of the holiday traditions that they said was there was Women's Christmas on January 6th. Women got the day off, and men took care of the house. So that's kind of cool. That's not something that happens here. Obviously, in the United States, we don't have that tradition, but that's something kind of cool. And you'd slide that over here. And then on our last page, it's a fun one, more interesting stuff you found. If there's any other kind of facts that you found that you thought were really cool, maybe we talked about the Wren Boys procession in Ireland, where they have like the fake bird and the red holly bush, something like that. But you want to go through and pick a holiday. Remember, we're going to click on the link here in the beginning, click on this little chain link down here. That'll take you to our website, and you can pick a holiday, a country, and I want you to tell me how Christmas is celebrated there. I hope you enjoy learning, and if you want to take a look at multiple countries, please do. And I can't wait to see what you've learned and see and have that sharing for us. So thank you, first graders, so much for coming by. I appreciate you being here. So have a good one.